Hi everyone, this is Altaf. Uh, I think quite a lot of you already know me as a tax practitioner in GCC. Amongst many other things, I happen to uh, train people and build their capacity in taxation as well. So there's been a lot of discussion and debate on the Federal Decree Law number 47 of 2022, which is on taxation of corporations and business. So I'm gonna give a quick introduction of the initial sections of this corporate tax law of UAE. So let me take you directly to the Article 2, which is imposition of corporate tax. Now it's going to be a very interesting session. Now, why do I say that is I want to take you down into the breakdown of the provisions or the articles that are written in the law in a bit more articulate manner. For example, this Article 2 that you see right now, it says corporate tax shall be imposed on taxable income at the rates determined under this decree law and payable to the authority under this decree law and the tax procedure law. We're going to talk about only this section today. Now, for any student of corporate tax, when you read any provision of the law, you should pay attention to the words that are written there, whether they are written in title case or sentence case. What is the difference? Title case would mean and indicate an expression that is a proper noun, some terminology that has already been defined in that particular law. In this particular case, when we read this article, you can see that the corporate tax has been written with capital alphabets. C is capital, T is capital. Why would they write corporate tax in title case? That means it is a terminology that has been defined in this law. So let us try to find where this word corporate tax has been defined. In order to do that, we have to go to Article 1, which contains definitions. I'm just going to type it if we can quickly look at it. There you go. Here's the definition of corporate tax. And this definition says, I'm going to highlight this for you. The tax imposed by this decree law on juridical persons and business income. Means this decree law, the law that we are studying right now, which is corporate tax law of UAE, the decree, the federal decree of corporate tax. This tax is imposed on juridical persons. Now, if you look carefully, juridical person is written in straight, simple sentence case. There is no capitalization of alphabets. That means juridical person has not been defined in the corporate tax decree law. So this is a tax imposed on legal persons. Number one, juridical person means legal persons, essentially companies, basically, which have a separate persona. But be careful. Why? Because corporate law is slightly different from the corporate tax law. The meaning that juridical persons may carry in corporate law may very well be slightly different from the meaning that it may carry in the corporate tax law. This you will see when we especially come to the provisions related to partnerships, for example, or trusts. Now, I think some of you who have already studied corporate law or business law might know that companies have a separate juridical personality, legal personality, but partnerships do not. Partnerships are natural persons under the Partnership Act, uh, who come together through a partnership deed or an agreement, and that partnership agreement, that arrangement is called a partnership firm. Uh, the question arises whether, let's say, if you register that partnership firm in UAE and you get a trade license for that, does this trade license, does the fact that this partnership has been registered with a corporate registrar in UAE, such as Ministry of Economy, Dubai Economic Development Department, DED, or maybe a free zone, this registered partnership, does it become a juridical person, or it still remains mm, natural persons in plural sense? That's a question that should come to our minds if we really want to practice tax law. So that's where the trick comes in. Under the corporate law, this partnership firm will not have a separate legal persona of its own. But interestingly, in the world of corporate tax in UAE, some guides have been issued which have clarified that if a firm, partnership firm, is registered with Dubai Economy, for example, or another free zone, then it will be seen as a juridical person. Now, that's a divergence from corporate law. But nonetheless, let us come back to this definition of corporate tax. So the two things, the two key persons on which corporate tax has been levied are juridical persons and business income. When they had already mentioned the juridical persons in this definition, then one should think why there is a need to mention business income separately. Don't you think that's a point to think about? The answer is that if you were thinking on those lines, you were right. You're absolutely right. Because in reality, when we read the provisions later on, this is a corporate tax law. So corporate would ordinarily mean that natural persons like you and me, they should ideally be out of the scope of this law because it is only a corporate tax law. But the reality is that natural persons, if they're earning business income, then they are subject to this corporate tax law. So these 2 points are very interesting points that you should note. That first point, juridical person, the meaning of juridical person diverges from the predominant meaning of juridical persons, which is there in the corporate law, not corporate tax law. And second point, that the reason that they added the word business income in addition to on juridical persons was that they wanted to bring, the policymakers, the lawmakers wanted to bring natural persons earning business income into the ambit, into the scope of the corporate tax law. That was only the definition of corporate tax. Now, coming back to the article 2 again. So as I was reading, corporate tax, which we just learned, what exactly is corporate tax, shall be imposed on the taxable income. Oh, interesting. Again, T is capital and I is capital. That means this taxable income is already defined somewhere up there. Let me write it here. Taxable income. There you go. We have this. So what does this taxable income mean under Article 1 of this corporate tax decree law? The income that is subject to corporate tax, we know what corporate tax is. We just studied that this is a tax that has been imposed on juridical persons and business income, which means natural persons are also included. So the income that is subject to that corporate tax under this decree law, it seems a pretty straightforward definition, and probably the meaning is also clear to you guys. Okay, going back to Article 2. Corporate tax shall be imposed on the taxable income at the rates determined under this decree law. So probably at another place, at a later place, we will find out about the rates. At what rates is this tax applied or levied, and payable to the authority. Now, I think most of you, out of common sense, would know that the word authority here means federal tax authority. The same has been defined in Article 1. If you want to look at it, you can do that. I'm not going to spend time on that because it's a very simple thing to authority under this decree law and the tax procedures law. Now, that's another interesting point for everyone to remember that the law, the tax that is payable under this decree law, and then there is another law which is called tax procedures law. So let us have a look at this anyways. Some of you might already know what this tax procedures law is, but in any case, we are going to have a look at it. There you go. Federal Law number 2017 on tax procedures. By the way, this law was later on amended recently in 2023. So another tax procedures law is there. So the latest version of this tax procedures law, that is meant by this wording, tax procedures law, that has been put in Article 2. So this was just giving you just a taste of how we must read the provisions of corporate tax decree law. So we have to act like financial surgeons and do an open heart surgery of the wordings that have been written inside a provision. I guess that's about it for today. It was a quick, introduction to how we should read the decree law. Thank you very much. Keep watching my videos, and we'll meet again with some interesting new angle. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.